Yes,
if you know
yes.
that a dealer has had a vehicle for 60 to 90 days, you know the term policy, you also know they paid too much for it. That's knowledge that you can use and information you can use in your negotiation.
Buddy.
All right.
Here we are in the cold, rainy Scottsdale, Arizona, ladies and gentlemen, on our last leg of our trip to Las Vegas. And, well, I don't know. Zach wants me to shoot outdoors because, well, we can.
I thought it was supposed to be warm today. We're in Arizona.
Yeah, well, yesterday it was 80, today it's in the 50s.
Well, anyway, we have our ongoing and continued sponsor, findthebestcarprice.com/insider, link down below. Aggregating, consolidating,
Compiling.
I'm trying to think of an Arizona-oriented word. None coming to mind.
Anasazi.
Gila River. Link down
Saguaro.
below. Yeah, there you go. Thank you for this.
Saguaro, all the information.
Link down below, findthebestcarprice.com/insider. Now,
Yes.
Dad,
Yes.
before you get, I see you're getting cold down here.
Yes.
Before you get too cold,
Yeah,
it is Saturday morning,
yeah.
except we're filming this
on Thursday,
whatever.
but that's besides the point.
Saturday morning, it's our
Yeah.
weekly market update for
Yes.
the used, and we're going to do some new car related things as well today. Actually, why don't we start with the new car stuff?
Is it in the thing I'm looking at?
It's not the thing you're looking at.
Why do you do that to me?
So two things I want to mention on the new car side.
Yes.
One is, and I sent it over to you, did you look at it? Honda is just coming back online on Monday with production in their UK facility. Did you see that?
I did not.
Okay, well that's one.
Okay, good.
Two is
Yeah.
suppliers are having shortages of different parts. That was actually why the Ford Bronco is now being delayed.
Yeah,
because
there's-
suppliers
there's-
are having shortages. That was
Yeah.
specifically for the roof of the Bronco.
Yes.
I bring up both of those 2 points because
Yes.
new car supply is still really low. Manufacturers are still very behind in fulfilling orders.
Yes. One of the large banks that does automotive lending is complaining that there's just not enough new cars out there. There's not enough inventory for the dealers to have nationally, and it's true. I mean, we did our drive across country, and we saw lots of dealerships that didn't have a lot of inventory. They had a lot, but they didn't have any metal sitting on top of the lot, and it's very difficult in some of those locations for the dealers to be able to facilitate their customers' needs if they don't have the inventory to do that. So
Exactly.
between supplier issues due to COVID, and that's the main reason for the delay in the Bronco until I think next summer now.
Yep.
And other plants just starting to get ramped back up, we will continue to see a shortage of certain vehicles and a delay in others that were supposed to come out already or early in the first quarter of next year.
Yep, and so we did the video yesterday on manufacturer incentives for vehicles. So, I mean, refer to that. That'll give you an idea of what vehicles maybe there are more
Yes.
supply of or less
Yes.
supply of. Tellurides, for example, nothing or $500. Or Palisades, nothing or $500. Cadillac Escalade, $9,500.
Yeah.
All right, so that's enough about new cars. Now into our used car market update. I will let you take the lead, Pops.
Well, if I can figure out how to work a computer without a mouse. The quick recap is that, yes, wholesale prices continued their decline for the 13th straight week. The unfortunate reality is that the average listing prices have been essentially flat for the past 2 months. So we have not seen the correlation between the reduction in the wholesale prices that the new car and used car dealers are paying for their pre-owned inventory in a reduction in the retail prices that these dealers are asking for the cars. Eventually that will happen. Exactly when that eventually is, I'm guessing that it'll be the first quarter, the first half of next year, but there's no guarantees. If supply remains low, and it is relatively low in comparison to what it was last year at this time, I think it's down 3.5% or a little better than that below last year's levels, then prices are going to remain slightly higher than they should be. We did see a little bit of softening in some of the retail prices in the larger pickup trucks. Truth be told, those are still way overpriced for what they should be getting and what they would have been getting under normal conditions.
Yeah, can you talk about, unrelated to the BlackBook report, well, it's tangentially related. Market day supply and time on lot and carrying costs. And I know we've talked about them in various videos, but I think it's important in this context to understand maybe why retail prices haven't dropped. It's because of market day supply, time on lot, carrying costs.
Yes, most dealerships will have a used car turn policy, and what I mean by that is that once they get a car, they have an internal policy where it must either be retailed or wholesaled by 60 or in some cases 90 days. Because so many of the vehicles that are out there still were purchased 12 and 13 weeks ago when we were at the height of wholesale prices, dealers hate the concept of having to turn around and take a loss on stuff that they've purchased. The smart dealers will, because they'll realize they can't set the market price. The market actually sets the price. The public sets the price. What the public is willing to pay actually sets the price. But for every one of those cars that's sitting on the lot for 60, 90, 120 days, they're financed. They finance those cars through their own banks. So there's carrying costs on those cars. So not only did they pay too much when they bought the car, but they're continuing to incur additional costs associated with those cars as they sit on the lot. Smart dealers will recognize that. They'll turn around, they'll take whatever losses they need to take, they'll sell the vehicle, they'll go out, and right now they can buy a like vehicle for about 6.5% to 7% less than what they paid for the one that they just sold.
Yep. And so I think it's important for, if you're watching this, to understand kind of the rationale or the logic behind when we say, it's just around the corner that prices on the retail side should drop. I actually wouldn't be surprised if retail prices stay flat because dealers want to wait for, I hate to say this, the sucker or whoever just comes in. It's like, all right, fine, I'll buy it. You need to know. Knowledge is power. I was wearing that shirt like half of our car trip across America. If you know that a dealer has had a vehicle for 60 to 90 days, you know the term policy, you also know they paid too much for it. That's knowledge that you can use and information you can use in your negotiation to maybe get them to come down off of the retail listing price to the ultimate selling price.
Yes, and the smart dealers will recognize that getting any type of profit if they can is better than getting no profit at all, and they'll take a deal and they'll unload the car and they'll take that cash and put it into something that they can buy for less and turn more quickly. Because the whole idea in the car business is to turn your inventory as quickly as you possibly can and as many times as you possibly can, so that you can cut down on the finance charges of paying for those cars that are sitting on your lot.
And then you get to sell more extended warranties, and you also get to get more cars in your service drive.
It's what we call giving opportunities to other departments. The smart dealers will try and create as many opportunities. They'll take a short deal on a new or used car in order to give the finance department the opportunity to arrange a loan, make some money through the financing, sell some additional products, many products that a lot of viewers would say they don't need, and that the F&I department is going to push on them. But the hope for the dealership, just from the dealership perspective, is that if they take a short deal on the front end, that the back end, the finance department, having that opportunity can turn that around and make it into a positive.
And this is your whole rationale as a customer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm giving you an opportunity to take other shots at me in your finance department. I'm an opportunity to become a service customer of yours. One of the things that I used to look at all the time as a manager was it was my job to try and figure out how to create, I don't know, between 100 and 150 new opportunities for the service department every month. Because every time I sold a car, it created a future opportunity for the service department.
Yep.
If you don't sell the cars, then you're robbing the service department of opportunities moving forward, or they'll have less of them.
Yep, and so watch some of our other videos on those topics. We'll link them down below or in the top right corner. Let's put up on the chart, let's put up on the screen the chart showing the week over week change in wholesale prices. And you can see the big decline for this most recent week. And so to put that into perspective, the overall wholesale market, used car market, declined 0.7 of a point compared to 0.4 of a point the prior week. So we are seeing a increase in velocity and how prices are declining on the wholesale side. Again, that puts even more pressure on that dealer that paid 7% too much 12 weeks ago or 9 weeks ago or whatever
To get
it was,
rid of that car.
because they could go buy another one so much more cheaply.
Yes.
Yeah, so
exactly.
that's the big takeaway. All right, Dad, it's frigid out here. Let us get to
Frigid? No, it's lovely. I'm thinking, why didn't I get a
parka?
polar sweatshirt? But I didn't.
All right, let's run through just the numbers on cars and on trucks. So we'll put up on the screen the chart for the change for cars. Do you want to go ahead, Deb?
Well, the big one that I can see, and thankfully Zach just enlarged the print so I really can see it, is in the compact car segment, they went down 1.12% week over week. Now that translates into $90. It doesn't sound like a lot, but you
12 weeks of that.
Yeah, 12 weeks of that, that's 12%. That's over 12%. So
Yep.
you can see that ultimately that's really a significant decrease in a value of a vehicle in just a week. Mid-size cars went down 0.73%. Full-size cars surprisingly only went down 0.37%. Your near luxury cars, and maybe because they're only near luxury, they went down 1.06%.
Yep.
And your luxury cars fell 0.7 of a point, or it's 0.7. Hell, they went down 0.7 of a point.
And then I'll put up on the screen now trucks and
You
SUVs
can
and
do the
crossovers.
trucks.
Sure. So we've got big declines across subcompact, which is the same with passenger cars. They're all passenger cars
Yeah.
with cars. And we also have big declines amongst minivans. That's a theme from last week and the week
Yes,
prior to
yes.
that. Well over a point for minivans. I mean, you can see the numbers on the screen. Not so much of a decline amongst subcompact luxury crossovers, so they're holding their value in the wholesale markets a bit better. Full-size vans also very little declines, which is interesting to see. Pickup trucks and full-size pickup trucks, substantial declines, over half a point for both, and as a segment, nearly 0.7 of a point.
And my guess is, especially moving into January, we'll continue to see this type of trend, because January and February are the two slowest months in the car business. So that's when volume is at its weakest. So if volume's weak and dealers don't need to be buying cars quite as much, then the prices of the cars that they are buying should be going down, which ultimately should be reflected in the retail prices that dealers ask for the cars.
Do you want to see if the fireplace works at this Airbnb?
Well, I wish it was an outdoor fireplace, because if it was, we'd have that son of a roaring now.
All right, Box, thanks for your time.
Yeah, my pleasure. It's dark. You can't see us.
Yeah, you can. It looks awesome.
It looks awesome. It's dark.